The Way to Equal Distribution by M.K. Gandhi. Once upon a time, in a land of many faiths, languages, and traditions, a man named Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi emerged as a beacon of hope for his people. He was deeply troubled by the widespread poverty and inequality around him, where the rich grew richer, while the poor barely had enough to survive. Gandhi dreamed of an India where every person had enough to meet their needs and live with dignity. But he didn't believe that simply taking wealth from the rich and giving it to the poor would bring about true equality. To Gandhi, the solution lay in a principle he called trusteeship. He believed that those with wealth should see themselves as caretakers, or trustees, of that wealth, using only what they needed for a simple life and sharing the rest for the benefit of society. He imagined that if the wealthy embraced this role sincerely, they could transform their communities without the need for violent revolutions. This wasn't an easy path, but Gandhi felt that it was the only one that could create a peaceful society. Non-violence, or ahimsa, was the heart of Gandhi's philosophy. To him, the means of achieving justice were as important as the end goal. He was convinced that true social change could only happen through compassion and respect for others. Violence, he argued, could never lead to a truly just or harmonious society, as it would only breed resentment and bitterness. This belief was not a passive one, it was something Gandhi actively demonstrated. As a young lawyer in South Africa, he had faced discrimination because of the color of his skin, once even being kicked off a train. These experiences made him realize the need to confront injustice. When he returned to India, he became a central figure in the independence movement, advocating for India's freedom from British rule. But his goal wasn't simply to end colonial rule, he wanted to build an India where people could live as equals, free from caste discrimination and communal strife. In 1930, he led the famous Salt March to protest unfair British taxes on salt. He traveled hundreds of miles on foot, inspiring thousands to join him. This act of peaceful defiance became a symbol of India's determination to achieve independence without violence. Even as India neared its independence, Gandhi's vision was always for a united nation where Hindus, Muslims, and people of all religions could live together peacefully. He was heartbroken when, at the moment of independence in 1947, India was divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. Instead of celebrating, he spent that day fasting and praying for peace. Gandhi's idea of equal distribution was radical. Each person should have just enough to meet their natural needs, no more, no less. He felt that a society guided by non-violence must embrace simplicity and fairness. But he recognized that achieving this goal required individuals willing to start with themselves. A person who truly adopted Gandhi's ideas would live simply, renounce dishonest earnings, avoid waste, and reduce their wants, knowing that excess could be shared with others who were in need. Gandhi believed that one person could inspire many, and gradually, society could transform. Despite his hopes, he knew that not everyone would voluntarily share their wealth. For those cases, he proposed non-violent non-cooperation and civil disobedience, methods he had used effectively against British rule. The poor, he argued, could refuse to cooperate with the wealthy if they weren't treated with fairness and respect. By standing united and non-violent, they could resist exploitation and encourage the wealthy to become true trustees. To Gandhi, this was not just a political strategy, it was a deeply spiritual belief. He saw religion as the guiding force for humanity, with God and truth as one and the same. He believed that every prophet and spiritual leader had shown glimpses of an eternal law that guided humankind towards compassion and justice. Gandhi's philosophy of satyagraha, or the pursuit of truth, inspired many other leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela, who saw in Gandhi's life a model for resisting injustice without hatred. Even today, Gandhi's message endures. He showed the world that love, truth, and self sacrifice can be powerful forces for change, proving that a single person's belief in peace and equality can ignite a peaceful revolution.